The chamber door sealed with a hiss that made Captain Chen's jaw tighten. 3 years of diplomatic service across the Andromeda sector hadn't prepared him for this moment. Queen Salathar stood before the ceremonial arch, her crystalline skin shifting through colors he'd learned meant fear, her 6 fingers trembling as they reached for his hand. "The rule is simple," High Chancellor Vorn's voice echoed through the vaulted ceiling. "No human may touch the Queen's genetic core. Not in curiosity, not in passion, not even to save her life." Chen felt Sella's hand warm in his. Their courtship had been a scandal that nearly collapsed the alliance between Earth and the Kethran Empire. Her people saw humans as primitive. His superiors saw political suicide. But Sella had chosen him anyway, and he'd resigned his commission to stand here. "I understand," Chen said. "You don't." Vorn's antennae flattened against his skull. "The core lies beneath the 3rd vertebral plate. If breached, her neural cascade will interpret it as hostile infiltration. Her body will convert all biomass within 30 meters to raw energy. You. Anyone," his obsidian eyes fixed on Chen. "She won't survive it either." Sella's colors flashed orange, the Kethran shade of defiance. "He knows the risks. Does he know the symptoms? The fever dreams where she won't recognize you? The molting cycles where her skin tears away and every instinct screams for physical comfort? The genetic imperative that will make her beg you to touch that exact spot?" Chen's throat went dry. "Our biology evolved as a defense mechanism," Sella said quietly. "In ancient times it protected queens from assassination and forced breeding. Now it's just cruel." Her colors dimmed to deep purple. Sadness. "But I would rather die alone than never know love." Chen spoke vows in broken Kethran. Sella repeated promises in flawless English. When they pressed foreheads together in the traditional gesture, her skin felt like warm glass, and he could see the faint luminescence of her core pulsing 3 inches below her neck. The wedding feast lasted 6 hours. Diplomats from 12 species offered congratulations that sounded like veiled threats. Earth's ambassador cornered Chen by the crystalline fountain. "This is a mistake," Ambassador Price hissed. "If something goes wrong, if you slip even once, it could restart the war. Then I won't slip." "You're human. We're not built for perfection." Price's face softened. "I've seen the medical reports, Chen. The pheromones she'll emit during molting cycles are designed to cloud judgment, to override rational thought. Evolution gave her that defense for a reason." Chen watched Sela across the hall, surrounded by nobles who'd voted against the marriage. She caught his eye, and her colors brightened to gold, joy, and something in his chest unknotted. "Some things are worth the risk," he said. Their quarters in the royal tower had been modified for human habitation. Standard gravity. Oxygen, nitrogen atmosphere. A bed that didn't respond to body heat by shifting into gelatinous support mode. Chen stood at the window overlooking the capital city of Kithara, its bioluminescent spires stretching toward 3 moons. Sella emerged from the bathing chamber, her formal coronation robes replaced by simple wraps. The vertebral plate that housed her core was visible now, a slightly raised ridge along her spine that pulsed with soft blue light. "You're staring," she said. "Memorizing. If I know exactly where it is, I can't accidentally..." She crossed the room in 3 fluid strides. "We can't live in fear. The rule is absolute, yes, but we're not fragile." Her hand cupped his face, and her skin's warmth spread through him. "I need you to trust yourself." Their first night together was careful, tender. Chen cataloged every safe zone, every place his hands could explore without danger. Sella's laughter rang like crystal chimes when he became too clinical about it. "You're mapping me like a minefield," she teased. "You basically are one." The first month passed without incident. Chen learned to read her colors better than words. Morning violet meant she'd slept poorly. Midday orange meant the High Council was being difficult.
Evening gold meant coming home to him still felt like a small miracle. He taught her to cook eggs.
She taught him the meditation techniques that kept Kethran emotions from overwhelming their logic. They built a life in the spaces between 2 species. Then came the night Sela woke screaming. Chen jolted upright as she thrashed beside him, her skin blazing red, temperature spiking. Her colors cycled through the spectrum too fast to track. "Core fever," she gasped. "Starting." He reached for the medical scanner on the nightstand. Her genetic structure was destabilizing, cells preparing for the molting cycle that happened every 18 months. The readout showed neurochemical storms in her brain, and her core's luminescence had doubled in intensity. "What do you need?" "Distance." Her voice broke. "Lock yourself in the next room. Don't come out no matter what you hear. Sela, please." Terror flashed white across her features. "I won't be myself. The fever makes us revert to base instinct, and every instinct will tell me that core stimulation will stop the pain."
"I'll beg. I'll try to manipulate you."
"You can't listen." Chen grabbed emergency supplies and sealed himself in the adjacent chamber. The walls were thick, designed to contain diplomatic secrets, but her cries cut through anyway. First, anger. "Accusations!" Then pleading in a voice so broken it nearly brought him to his knees. "Chen, please, it hurts. Just touch it once. Just one moment of relief. I'm burning. Please, please, I love you. If you loved me, you'd help. Please." He sat with his back against the door, hands pressed over his ears, counting seconds. 60, 100, 2,000. Her voice grew hoarse, desperate. At hour 4, silence fell. Chen waited another 30 minutes before opening the door. Sela lay curled on the bed, her old skin sloughing away in translucent sheets, new crystalline flesh emerging underneath. Her colors had muted to exhausted gray. "You stayed away," she whispered. "Always will." She pulled him close, careful even in her weakness, and they held each other as alien dawn broke over an impossible marriage. 3 years became 5, 5 became 8. They weathered 4 molting cycles, a failed assassination attempt by xenophobic extremists, and the birth of diplomatic protocols that would govern human-Kethran relationships for generations. Chen learned to distinguish between 73 color variations. Sela learned to appreciate baseball. The High Council slowly accepted their union. Ambassador Price retired and sent a gift of Antique Earth whiskey with a note that read, "I was wrong, some things are worth any risk." Then Sela discovered she was pregnant. The royal physicians delivered the news with grave faces. Kethran-human hybrid pregnancies were theoretically possible but had never occurred. The genetic compatibility was a miracle. The danger was unprecedented. "The fetus is developing a core structure," the head physician explained, holographic scans rotating above the table. "Smaller than a full Kethran's, but present. It will be sensitive to the same triggers." "How do we—" "You can't be present for the birth," Vorn said flatly. The High Chancellor had mellowed over the years, but remained ruthlessly practical. "The delivery will require physical manipulation near Sela's core. If the child's core activates in sympathetic response, or if Sela's stress response triggers hers, the cascading detonation would destroy the medical wing." Sela's hand found Chen's across the table. Her colors flickered between gold and purple, joy and grief at war. "I won't do it without him," she said. "Then you'll both die," Vorn replied. "And the child, and everyone trying to save you." The argument raged for 3 days. Chen researched every possible option. Robotic assistance, remote surgery, sedation protocols. Nothing eliminated the risk. Kethran biology demanded physical intervention at the moment of birth, and the mother's core would be dangerously unstable throughout. On the 4th day, Sela found Chen in the observatory, staring at Earth's distant star. "I release you from your vow," she said quietly. He turned. "What?" "The marriage vow. To stay by my side always." Her colors were steady purple now, decision made. "You can't be there. I understand, but I won't have you tormented by breaking a promise. I'm not leaving you to do this alone. You don't have a choice. There's always a choice. There's always a choice." The solution came from an unexpected source. Their daughter. Sela gave birth on a morning when 2 of Kethara's moons aligned in eclipse. Chen paced in a shielded chamber 3 floors below, surrounded by guards who'd volunteered to stay despite the danger. The medical team worked with mechanical precision above. The delivery took 6 hours. Chen counted every second. At hour 3, the building shuddered. Alarms screamed. Then silence. Commander Thek, head of the Royal Guard, appeared in the doorway. His colors were subdued, unreadable. "Captain Chen, you're needed." "Is she—" "But there's a complication." The medical suite looked like a war zone. Surgical equipment scattered. Scorch marks on the walls where energy had vented through emergency systems. Sela lay in the center, exhausted but radiant, her colors cycling through gold so bright it hurt to look at. In her arms, wrapped in silver thermal cloth, was their daughter. "She's perfect," Sela breathed. The baby had her mother's crystalline skin, her father's dark hair already growing in fine strands. Her eyes were human round but Catherine silver, and along her tiny spine, barely visible, pulsed a core the size of a thumbnail. "What's the complication?" Chen asked. The head physician stepped forward, scanner in hand. "The child's core is active but incompletely developed. It needs calibration. Physical contact from both parents simultaneously to establish baseline neural patterns." Chen felt ice flood his veins. "You mean we'll have to touch near both cores at once?" "Mother and daughter. The synchronization will stabilize the infant's development, but the proximity, the stress, the sympathetic resonance," the physician's antennae drooped. "The risk of cascade is 73%. Sela's colors flashed white, pure terror, then forced themselves back to gold. "Then we have a 27% chance. My queen, perhaps if we wait, develop alternative protocols." 6 hours. Maybe. Chen looked at his daughter, this impossible fusion of two worlds, struggling for life in her first moments. He looked at Sela, who defied her entire civilization for love and was prepared to die for it. He thought about every careful year, every molting cycle endured, every night they'd held each other in the knife-edge balance between passion and destruction. "Show me where to touch," he said. The medical team prepared in silence. Sela was positioned semi-reclined, the baby cradled against her chest. Chen knelt beside them, hands trembling. Here, the physician guided his left hand to Sela's upper spine, millimeters from her core. And here, his right hand to the baby's back, over the tiny pulsing light. "On my mark," the physician said. "Maintain contact for exactly 30 seconds. Do not move, no matter what you feel." Sela's colors settled into steady violet acceptance. Mark. The sensation was like touching lightning. Sela's core sang against his palm. Recognition and warning and desperate love, all vibrating through crystalline lattice. The baby's core responded, untamed energy-seeking pattern, and for a heartbeat, Chen felt both their neural structures laid bare. He saw Sela's terror that this moment had come. Her fierce determination to give their child every chance. Her absolute faith that he wouldn't slip, wouldn't move, wouldn't doom them all, even though her core's defense protocols were screaming at his presence. He saw his daughter's consciousness forming, awareness building from chaos, two genetic heritages at war and in harmony within her tiny body. She had his stubbornness and Sela's grace, and something entirely new, a bridge between species that had never existed before.
"The energy belt."
20 seconds. 25. Chen's hands burned. Sela's colors blazed white. The baby whimpered. "Hold," the physician commanded. Chen's muscles locked. He wanted to move more than he'd ever wanted anything. Every nerve screamed. Sela's core temperature spiked to dangerous levels. The baby's energy cycled wild. Almost the physician whispered, 29 seconds? 30. "Clear!" Sela gasped. The baby cried, a sound that was somehow both alien trill and human wail. Commander Thek stepped forward, scanner active. Core readings stabilizing, both subjects within safe parameters. No cascade initiation. The medical team exhaled as one. Chen sat back, hands shaking. Sela reached for him with her free arm, pulling him close. Between them, their daughter settled into quiet breathing, her core pulsing in steady rhythm with her mother's. "What will we name her?" Sela asked. Chen thought about two species learning to exist in the same space, about rules that seemed absolute until love demanded otherwise. About the bridge their daughter represented, proof that the impossible was simply the difficult waiting to be solved. "Hope," he said. "We'll call her Hope." Outside, dawn spread across Kethara, and 3 moons set in perfect alignment. In the medical suite, a family forged from 2 worlds rested together, having survived the impossible rule by refusing to let it define them. The High Council would debate the implications for years. Xenobiologists would study Hope's unique genetics for decades. Diplomats would point to this moment as the true beginning of human-Kethran integration. But in that quiet chamber, as Hope's tiny hand wrapped around her father's finger and her mother's colors glowed steady gold, none of that mattered. They were simply a family, built in the space between danger and devotion, proving that some bonds were stronger than any rule evolution could devise.